Right, so we are going to start on our backs, like constructive rest, but maybe you'll walk your feet just kind of a little bit closer to each other. So maybe your feet are about hip width distance apart, heels a little bit closer to the butt, almost as if you were setting up for your bridge pose, and then just give a second to tune in. Make sure that this feels good to your knees, make sure your back feels comfortable, and then readjust anything that doesn't feel good. So we want to find a little bit of a resting position here. And then once you feel like your legs are in a pretty good, reasonable position, you're going to push into your head, lift your chest, and then snuggle your shoulder blades in and under, and then let your arms kind of fall out in anatomical position. So maybe they're about 45 degrees away from the body, palms facing up, and your shoulder heads are softening down. And then just take a few moments here to let your body settle into this position. So hopefully there's not too much efforting in the legs, not too much efforting in the chest, the shoulders, or the arms. And then see if you can just start to watch the physical action of breath in your body. So taking your natural inhalation, notice the movement that goes on in your torso, your chest, your throat, wherever you feel it, and notice it. And then notice that exchange as you exhale and just that subtle change of physical action in your body. And then as you're here tuning in and noticing that physical action of breath in your body, can you get the idea of your body being one fluid unit? So rather than separating the parts, your feet, your hands, your legs, think of your body as one whole connected unit. And then as you take that breath and there's that physical action of breath, can you extend beyond the obvious places of the breath? So you would notice the breath in the chest, the belly, your shoulders, but now maybe you can go a little bit further away from that center. And can you notice any physical actions of breath out in your limbs, your arms, your toes, but with the idea that the whole body is one connected unit? Take one more moment here, just tuning in and noticing your breath. And then before we move away from this place, take a moment to set an intention to honor your mind and your body throughout your practice, never doing anything in your practice that would cause your body pain, and treating yourself with love, care, and respect. Cool. And then with that intention set, we're going to flip our palms. So palms are now going to rotate facing down towards the ground, and slide your hands in so that they come in alongside your hips a little bit. And then we're just going to bring a little action into the arms and the shoulders. So as you inhale, you're going to reach through your fingers, like you're reaching your fingertips down towards your heels, and you might feel your palms lift and just get nice and energized and active through your arms, as if you're trying to pull the heads of your shoulders downward. And then exhale and soften and relax your arms. And then do that again. Inhale, reach for your heels, reach through the fingers, shoulder heads draw down, and then exhale, soften. Inhale, reach for your heels. Exhale and soften. Inhale, reach for your heels. And exhale, soften. Nice. And then sticking with those arms as you inhale, now we're going to rainbow the arms up and overhead. So reach your arms up alongside your ears just as far as feels comfortable to go. And then exhale, bring your hands back down alongside your hips. Inhale and raise your arms up and overhead. Exhale and lower your arms down. Inhale, raise your arms up. Exhale and lower your arms down, and then keeping your arms down in a comfortable position. So you might be close to the hips or maybe a little bit wider, just depending on what feels good in the variations of your shoulders. And then we're going to focus down at our feet. So as you inhale, you're just going to lift just your toes away from the floor, maybe spread your toes a little bit, and then exhale, soften your toes back down. Inhale and lift your toes, spread your toes. Exhale and soften your toes down. One more time, just like that. Inhale, lift your toes and spread your toes. Exhale and soften your toes down. And then we're going to lift the heels. So inhale, lift your heels up away from the floor, moving into the ankle joint. Exhale, soften your heels down to the ground. Inhale and lift your heels up. Exhale, soften your heels down. One more like that. Inhale, lift your heels up. Exhale and soften your heels down. Nice. And then we're going to take it into the hip joint just a little bit. So inhale, pick your right knee up, keep a little 90-degree bend in that leg. Exhale, lower your foot down, switch over to your left. Inhale and lift your left leg up. Exhale and lower it down, back to the right leg. Inhale and lift up. Exhale and lower down, and see if you can keep that breath to connection to the movement. Inhale, lift your left leg up. Exhale, lower down. One more time on the right. Inhale and lift up. Exhale, lower down, back to the left leg. Inhale and lift up. Exhale and lower down. Awesome. And then we're going to pick the right knee up and then the left knee to meet. So knees are going to be bent like they're coming in towards the chest, but with a sort of looseness to this position. So no need to effort, no need to hold on. And then we're just going to take a couple of gentle bends of the knees. Does not need to be extreme. We just want to feel out the knee joint. How's it feeling this morning? Floating your heels upward towards the ceiling and then floating the heels back down. So the knees are softer in towards the chest. And then maybe you start to tune in and notice as well, how do the backs of your legs feel? So notice your knees, notice your hamstrings, notice if there's any tugging in the back of the knee. You might want to soften up just a little bit. Take one more bend and straighten of the legs. And then once you feel like you've noticed the backs of the legs and the knees, you're going to pull the knees into the chest and then see if you can catch hold. Keep a hold that feels comfortable to you. We're going to stay here for just a little bit longer than we normally do. So invite a little softness in. Soften your belly, soften your shoulder heads down, and just allow that little bit of weight from your hands on your kneecaps or your shins to draw you into that little squeeze. And then notice there might be a little compression of the breath as your belly is pressed against the thighs. So can you notice that compression of breath in your center? Take a nice big inhale. Nice slow exhale. And then can you tune in and notice your back connected to the floor? Take a nice big inhale. Nice slow exhale. Beautiful. Take one more breath. Awesome. And then if it feels good to do so, you're going to let go of your knees, float your feet back down to the ground, and give yourself a little hug. So let's say right hand on top, left hand on the bottom, catch hold of the shoulders. As you inhale, elbows are going to lift up toward your face. And then as you exhale, elbows are going to lower down. Maybe reaching your elbows toward your knees. Inhale and lift your elbows up toward your face. Exhale and lower down. One more like that. Inhale, lift the elbows up. Exhale, lower your elbows down. Bring your elbows to a neutral space. Open your arms into cactus or goalpost arms. Turn your head to the right. Bring your head to center. Turn your head to the left. Bring your head to center. And then we're going to switch the cross in our arms. So left hand is going to come on top, right hand on bottom, catch your shoulders. Inhale, lift your elbows up towards your face. Exhale, lower your elbows down. Awesome. Inhale and lift up. Exhale, lower down. One more like that. Inhale and lift up. Exhale, lower down. Bring your elbows to neutral. Open your arms wide into cactus or goalpost position. Turn your head all the way to the right. Inhale, bring your head to center. Turn your head all the way to the left. And then bring your head back to center. Cool. And now we're going to pull both knees back up towards the chest, but take them in a wider configuration. So think about letting your knees come wide towards your shoulders. Grab your knees, take a little gentle rock side to side. Tune in here and notice, how does your tailbone feel? How does your hips feel? How does your low back feel in this position? And then if all is feeling good, you're going to float your feet up, grab the backs of your thighs and take your knees just a little bit wider, as if you're trying to take your knees out towards the outsides of the ribs, and then find that gentle rocking again. And you might notice here your elbows might get in the way. So you're only going to rock as far as feels good, just making sure that your tailbone and your low back feel happy about it. Take one more little rock side to side. And then keeping that wide leg position, now we're going to reach our hands to the inside. So you're going to place the backs of your arms or your elbows inside to the knees. Arms are going to push out as the legs push in. So we're going to find those hip stabilizer muscles and just get them active here. So push your arms out as you push your knees in, and you might feel your muscles get fired on right away. You might notice a little shake in the muscles. Hold that position. So arms pushing out, legs pushing in, muscles nice and active. Take a big inhale. Slow exhale, still nice and active. 2 more cycles of breath. Keep the arms pushing out, legs pushing in. 1 more breath. Nice. And then soften that all up. Release, pull the knees into the chest. Give yourself one last little light squeeze. And then we're going to crisscross the ankles. Can you reach your hands around the outsides of your thighs and catch holds of the tops of the feet? And then once you've got holds of the tops of the feet, maybe take a little rock side to side. And then if it feels good, we're going to start to rock and roll our way up. So you're going to catch a little momentum, rolling from the tailbone towards the top of the head. And then once you've picked up a little bit of momentum, come all the way up into an easy seated position, legs in crisscross. And then just give a second to kind of find your comfort here. So find that nice uplifted seat, shoulders soften down. And then if you like, just close your eyes for a moment or just soften your gaze and come back to your breath. Take a nice big inhale. Nice slow exhale. Beautiful. And then in this easy seated position, as you inhale, lift your chin up to the sky. Exhale, tuck your chin down to your chest. Inhale and lift your chin up. Exhale, tuck your chin down. 1 more breath like that. Inhale to lift your chin up. Exhale, tuck your chin down, and then we'll move just a little further into the spine, into our seated cat-cow. As you inhale, lift your chin, lift your chest, squeeze your shoulder blades together, arch your back. Exhale, round your back, round your shoulders, tuck your chin into your chest. Inhale to lift. Exhale to round. 1 more breath. Inhale, lift. Exhale and round. Beautiful. Inhale to a nice neutral spine. Left hand's going to touch the ground. Right hand's going to reach up. Take a nice generous side bend. Go just as far as you can, but still keeping those sits bones nice and anchored. You can also let that bottom elbow touch down to the ground, really sinking nice and deep into it if it's available. Take 1 more moment. Awesome. And then we're going to circle around. So we're going to take that top hand, spin it all the way across the body, and then the other hand's going to find the ground. Sweep your other arm up and find your side bend. Readjust your sits bones so both sits bones are nice and anchored on the ground. And then see, maybe can you drop that bottom elbow down just a little further? Notice your breath. Nice. And now we're going to swim the hands around. Easy seat, but we're going to take it into a sideways forward fold. So as you swim your hands around, keep it nice and low, reaching your right hand out, and then just finding a little length through the right side body. Take a nice big breath. Cool. And then walk it over to the other side, but keeping with that low, easy seat forward fold with that little side bend. So reaching through the left hand, noticing the left side of the body. Awesome. And then walk it through center, just reaching out as long as feels good, making sure your knees and hips and low back feel happy about this position. And then we're going to take it up nice and strong. So you're going to press into your fingertips, pull your abdominal muscles towards the spine, pull the ribs back and drag your fingers on the ground as you pull your way back up nice and strong. Awesome. And then swim your hands behind the back, tall fingers, squeeze your shoulder blades together, a little gentle back bend, lift your chest, lift your chin, take a nice big breath. Beautiful. And then when you're ready, release and find your way into a tabletop position or come onto all fours. So knees under the hips, wrists under the shoulders. Spread your fingers nice and wide. index fingers pointing towards the top of the mat. And just for a second, we're going to tune in, find that little hasta bandha, so that nice energetic lift from the center of our palms. So think about the center of your palms as kind of a straw. So we're going to spread the fingers nice and wide, and then see if you can pull the center of your palms up away from the floor, as if you're trying to suck energy up from the ground, and then pull that energetic lift up your arms through the backside of the body. Front body draws up nice and strong in the back of your neck. Gaze down between your thumbs and take a nice big breath here. Cool. And then maintaining that sort of sense of strong lifting sensation through the palms. We're going to keep our hands engaged, but now curl both sets of toes under. Pull up from the palms as you pull your butt back to your heels, and then rock yourself forward. Pull up from the palms as you lean your shoulders slightly past your wrists. Keep the toes curled under. Pull your butt back to your heels, pulling up from the palms as you reach your bum back. And then keep pulling up from the palms as you lean your shoulders slightly past your wrists. Beautiful. One more just like that. Pull your butt back to your heels. Keep lifting up from the palm. Send yourself forward slightly past your wrists. Beautiful. And then come back to neutral. Release your toes right into puppy pose. We're going to walk those hands towards the top edge of the mat. Wide configuration with the arms if you need more space for your shoulders, or a little bit closer if that feels like a good position. And then just let your chest and your forehead sink down. Take a couple nice big breaths here. When you're ready, nice and slow, start to walk your hands back in so you find that tabletop position, keeping a nice neutral table. So belly firm, shoulders broad. We're going to keep everything as stable as you can, and you're just going to reach your right hand up, keeping your head in line with your spine. Touch the back of your head and release that hand back down into your tabletop position. See if you can keep everything else as stable as possible. Lift your left hand up, gazing down at the floor. Left hand's going to just touch the back of your head, and then release that hand back down to the ground. Awesome. Slide your right leg back, toes curled under, rock forward and back, just finding a little stretch through the heel and the calf. Beautiful. Now the next time you press back into that heel, stay there for one extra breath. Nice. And then bring yourself forward so shoulders are back in line with the wrist, but keep that leg out. We're going to take that right leg and slide it over to the left. So it's going to slide all the way past the left edge of your mat, and then hug in your left side body. So left shoulder, left hip, we're going to squeeze in towards each other. So you get a little C-spine here. Look over your left shoulder, look towards your right foot. Take a nice big breath. Beautiful. And then when you're ready, release. Slide that leg back in, take it back into your tabletop position, and then to the other side. Left leg is going to slide back, toes curled under. Rock yourself forward and back. Nice. And then the next time you press back into your heels, stay there for one extra breath. Cool. And then bring your shoulders back in line with your wrists. Keep that left leg long. We're going to slide that left leg over and across the right edge of the mat. So take it out to the right side, your right side body in. So right shoulder, right, squeeze in, look over your right shoulder towards your left foot, and take a nice big breath. Beautiful. And then when you're ready, release, slide that leg back in, give your hips a little bop side to side just to make sure everything feels good. And then when you're ready, we're going to curl the toes under, exhale, and find your way up to a downward facing dog position. And then find a little pedaling of the legs. Bend one knee, press into the opposite heel. Nice. And then when you're ready, look forward, walk your feet up to meet your hands, come to a ragdoll fold at the top of your mat. So feet about hip or shoulder distance apart, super generous bend in the knees, make some space for your belly, make some space for your chest. And then if it feels good, grab your elbows and let gravity do a little work for you here. Let your head dangle. Invite a little sense of softness into the backs of the legs, tuning in again and noticing. If you're feeling any pinching in the back of your knees, bend your knees just a little bit more. And then can you come back to that idea for a moment of your whole body being one connected unit, and then notice that movement of breath in your body. Take a nice, big, generous inhale. And a nice slow exhale. Keeping with our handhold on our elbows, if it feels good here, invite a little gentle sway in. So just rocking your elbows a little side to side. Maybe there's a light pedaling of the legs, so one knee bends a little bit more than the other. Cool, take one more little rock side to side if you're there. And then when you're ready, come back to center, release your fingers to the ground, bend your knees a lot, pull your abdominal muscles in strong from your navel center, roll up to a standing position. And then as you come up, just give a couple of good shrugs to the shoulders, make sure everything feels good, set yourself up, and then find your mountain pose at the top of your mat. So toes and knees pointing fairly forward. For a moment, lift your toes, spread your toes as wide as you can, and then relax your toes back down to the ground, but keep a nice lift coming up from the soles of the feet. Lift that all the way up through the front of your body, shoulders ground down, and then bring just a little life down into your fingertips. Gaze forward or close your eyes, and just for a moment, tune back into your breath. Inhale a nice, big, generous breath, and a slow but natural exhale. Awesome. Open your eyes. Inhale, raise your arms up and overhead, look to the sky. Exhale, bring your hands through heart center, hands down at your sides. Inhale, arms up and look up. Exhale, hands to heart center, interlace your fingers. We're going to flip the palms, press them forward, draw the shoulders down, pull the abdominal muscles in, press the palms up and overhead. Take a light side bend one way. Come back to center, take a light side bend the other way. Come back to center. We're going to flip the palms and then keep those interlaced fingers, bringing those palms right in front of the heart. And then can you bring the elbows and forearms together and then draw some circles with your wrists, go in one direction. And then draw some circles with your wrists and go the other way. Wonderful. And then when you're ready, release, give your hands a little shake, come back to your mountain pose, hands down at your sides. Inhale, arms up and look up. Exhale, hands to heart center. We're going to interlace the fingers again, but this time do the weird crossing your fingers. So find that weird interlace, flip the palms, make some space for your shoulders. And then when you're ready, press the palms up and overhead. Take a little side bend one way. Come back to center, a little side bend the other way. Come back to center. Nice. And then flip the palms, so palms face down. Pull those hands together, elbows and forearms together with that weird interlace of the fingers, and then take a couple of circles of your wrists in one direction. Beautiful. And then a couple of circles the other way. Nice. And then when you're ready, release, give your fingers a little shake, and then come back to your mountain pose, anchoring down into your feet, lifting up through the top of your head. Inhale, arms up and look up. Exhale, bend your knees and fold down. Inhale to a half forward fold. Exhale to soften down, step both feet back to downward facing dog. Beautiful. Pick up your heels, lower your knees. Through tabletop, we're going to step the right foot forward into a low lunge. So you're going to step that foot forward, position your legs so it feels good. And then when you're ready, inhale, raise your arms up and look up. Right hand to the hip, left hand's going to stay up. We're going to lean over to the right. Take a light side bend. Beautiful. And then release. Float your hands down to the ground. We're going to take it to half split. So we're going to pull the hips back. Keep a nice generous bend in that front leg. Peel your front toes up. Create a little bit of space. Lift your chest, lift through the front of the body, and then soften your nose toward your knees. Take one more breath here. Beautiful. And then rock yourself forward. Through that low lunge, we're going to curl the back toes under, pick your back knee up. Left hand's going to stay down. Right hand's going to reach up for a little twist. Awesome. Float that hand down. We're going to step that front foot back to downward facing dog. Take a pedal or two of the legs. Cool. And then from here, pick up your heels, lower your knees. Through tabletop, left foot's going to step forward, and we find that low lunge to the other side. Get yourself set up in a way that feels good. And then once you feel like you're there, inhale and lift your arms up. Beautiful. Left hand to the hip, right hand's going to reach up or lean over to the left, take a little side bend. Nice. And then when you're ready, release. Both hands are going to frame that front foot, take it to half splits. Pull the hips back, peel the front toes up, keep a nice generous bend in that front knee, make sure it feels good, and then lift through the front of the body, create a little space, and then soften your nose toward your knee. Wonderful. When you're ready, rock yourself forward, curl the back toes under, pick your back knee up into that higher lunge. And then if it feels good to do so, right hand stays down, left hand reaches up for a little twist. Nice. Left hand down to the ground, stepping that front foot back to your downward facing dog. And then we're going to scooch forward into a plank position. So shift your shoulders in line with the wrists. Rearrange your feet as needed so you find that nice strong position, broaden your shoulders, and then think about pulling up from the palms again. So can you find that energetic lift, pulling the palms up away from the floor, finding that sucking up sensation, and then broaden the shoulders, take one more breath. Beautiful, release your knees down, slowly lower onto your belly. Once you found your way here, just give a second. Shake out your bum, wiggle out your heels, shake out your shoulders, make sure everything's happy. Nice. And then we're going to take it into some graduated cobra. So hands alongside the shoulders, elbows soft at the ribs. Inhale and lift up to a nice low cobra. Exhale and lower down. Slide your hands back about an inch. Inhale, lift your heart just a little higher. Exhale, lower down. Slide your hands back one more inch. Inhale, lift your heart just a little higher. Exhale and lower down. Nice. Stay low, bend your knees, swish your heels a little side to side. One more little swish side to side, and then we're going to float those toes back down to the ground and take it into intense shoulder stretch. So right hand's going to reach straight out from the shoulder. We're going to press into the left hand, drawing the left shoulder up and back. That might already be enough for you. And if you like, just turn your head to the left and stay there. If it feels good, but you want that little bit more, you're going to roll over onto your right hip, stepping your left foot behind you, letting your head soften down and taking a nice big breath. Nice. When you're ready, gently roll your way back onto your belly. If you're on your side, slide that hand in and we're going to take it to the other side. So left hand is going to extend straight out from the shoulder. Press into the right hand, pull the right shoulder up and back. You might be happy there, but if it feels good and you want more, you're going to roll over onto your left foot, hip, stepping your right foot behind you. Let your head soften, come back to your breath. Beautiful. When you're ready, nice and easy, roll it back onto your belly, sliding both hands in, push your weight into a tabletop position, knees in line with the hips, wrists in line with the shoulders. Take one cat-cow here. Inhale, drop your belly, lift your chest, lift your tail. Exhale to round your back. Find a neutral position with the spine, big toes together, knees to the outer edges of your mat. Come to extended child's pose. Pull your butt back to your heels. Make some space here. Let your belly, your chest, your forehead, let everything soften down, and then invite some softness into the arms, into your shoulders, and even into your fingers. Take one more breath. And then when you're ready, slowly and mindfully start to lift yourself back up into a tabletop position. Walk your knees back in. From here, you're either going to swing your legs out to one side or crisscross your ankles behind you, sit back on your butt and flippity-do your legs around. But we just want to send our legs out in front of us. So just come there in any way that feels right. And then once you found your way there, give your knees a little bounce, give your toes a little wiggle. Awesome. Take a nice big breath. Reach up and overhead, lift through the belly, lift through the chest, soften your knees just a little bit, reach toward your toes. And then when you're ready, pull your abdominal muscles in, drag your hands along your shins as you lift up nice and strong. Scoot your bum forward, bend your knees, curl your tailbone under, and roll your way down to the ground. Wonderful. And then once you found your way there, just give it a second. Let your shoulders snuggle in, let your back get happy for a second. And we're going to take it right into a supine twist. So pull your left knee into your chest, send your right leg nice and long. Hang out here for just an extra breath, just holding on to that knee, giving a little bit of time, noticing how your knee feels and your left glute feels. And then when you feel good and ready, take it into your twist. Bring it over and across the body. Let your left arm open out nice and wide. When you're ready, pull the left knee into your chest. Bring the right knee into meet. Give yourself a little squeeze. Hold on to that right knee. Send your left leg nice and long. Hang out here for an extra breath, just tuning in and noticing. Notice your knee. Notice your glute. Cool. And then when you feel good and ready, taking that into supine twist. Bring it over and across the body. Right arm opens out nice and wide. Maybe you turn your head to the right. Cool. And then when you feel good and ready, pull both knees back into your chest. Give yourself that last little squeeze here. Let your hands rest comfortably on your knees or your shins, and just allow that weight from your hands to draw you into that little squeezing sensation. Notice that little bit of compression of your belly against your thighs. Notice that little bit of compression of your back against the ground. Take a nice, generous inhale. Nice, slow exhale. One more breath here. Great. And then when you feel ready, start to find your way into your Shavasana. So maybe you'll come back to the knee bent position. Maybe let your knees drop in towards each other. Maybe take that more traditional shape and walk your feet long. If you come into reclined cobbler's pose, again, I'm going to highly recommend that you tuck little pillows or yoga blocks under the outsides of your thighs just to keep that supported so we're not funking up the SI joint. But if all feels good, find a position that feels right in your body and then give your body a moment to settle into that shape. start to bring your awareness back into your body. Gently wake up the fingers, wake up the toes. Invite a deeper sense of breath back into your body. So maybe just tuning in for a moment, notice your inhalation. Notice your exhalation. And then maybe invite some bigger movement in. Maybe you gently turn your head side to side. Maybe you invite a little movement into your knees, your hips, your wrists, your elbow joints. And then if all feels really good, take a big good morning stretch like a yawn. Arms up and overhead, reaching through the toes. Take up a whole bunch of space in your mat. Take a big giant inhale. And then when you're ready, release and slowly find your way up to a comfortable seated position. So you might choose to roll to one side or rock and roll up. And then Sukhasana with legs crossed or any other seat that lets you sit up nice and tall. Nice. And then once you found your way there, just give a second to let your head, your heart, your hips get in line, and it feels like your back is leaning up against imaginary wall. And then just for a moment, notice. So if you lean against that imaginary wall and your ribs start to flare open, can you pull your ribs in towards each other, but keep your shoulders down and back? Super. And then once you found that nice alive position in that upright seat, take your fingertips to your chest and we're just going to invite a little tap. So we're going to tap down towards the breastbone and then up to the collarbones and just a light little tapping sensation with the fingers. And then if you like, close your eyes down and just tune in and notice. Listen into that tapping sound. Maybe notice something subtle, just that connection of your fingertips to the skin on your chest or the fabric of your clothes. Take one more little light tap up and down. And then if it feels good to do so, stack your hands right on top of your heart, one palm right on top of the other. Close your eyes down or soften your gaze. Take a nice deep inhale, just noticing that nice warmth underneath your heart space. Breathing in love and gratitude for yourself, for your mind, for your body, and for all of your hard work. And breathe in a little extra love and gratitude that you can carry with you through the rest of your day and share with everyone you see. Gently lift up through the top of your head. Gently open your eyes. I bow to you. Happy Saturday.